Welcome back to Film Snob HQ. The road to Avengers Doomsday is dwindling down. We're almost at the end of that road now with only a handful of projects to go. At the time of recording, it is the beginning of June, and there are still a number of projects that haven't been released. There is no Spider-Man Brand New Day just yet. There is no Vision Quest just yet, and of course no Avengers Doomsday. Although, however, apparently we're going to get the trailer to Doomsday today. I'm not sure if time will tell. We'll know shortly. But according to a lot of rumors online, there's a big convention over in London. The Russos are there, and they posted the Latvian flag on social media last night. So maybe we'll see it. Until then, we are talking about the final movie in my rewatch. There are no more Marvel films at this point. We have 2 series to go and a one-shot, but this is the final movie. And I will say, despite my exhaustion, maybe my deflated approach to the last few videos, I've mentioned being quite tired and getting a little bit over Marvel. This movie I was looking forward to. This one brings it back. It's a wonderful bookend to the franchise at this stage. To start with Iron Man and to finish with this movie, I think is a really poetic decision, and it's a really fun decision. And it, more than any other movie I've watched, this one has been most hyped for Avengers Doomsday. It's a movie I didn't even need to watch. I've watched it almost 10 times since it came out last year. I am talking about Fantastic Four: First Steps. I know this was a divisive one. A lot of people didn't like it. They didn't appreciate the casting. I will say, when the casting was announced, I wasn't against it, but none of them were my pick. I was saying that Bill Hader was my choice for Mr. Fantastic for a long time. However, I really like Pedro in the role. This is a man who is kind of plagued by his own failures. But the rest of the family have moved on, and that's the biggest difference between this and the other Fantastic Four films. All the other Fantastic Four films, they're still finding their groove. Johnny and Ben in the original ones, in the 2000s ones, do not have a good relationship at all. They're very cruel to each other at times, especially Johnny to Ben. In all the films, Ben is still blaming Reed for his failures and for turning him into the Thing. In this one, they've all moved past it. They've embraced it. They've been doing this for 4 years. They're undefeated. They've never had a loss before. They've had some pretty minor level threats like the Mole Man and stuff like that. But they're a team and they're a family. And my friend Nick says they use the word family far too much in this film, but I don't care. It's Marvel's first family, and for the first time in any of the movies we've had, except for maybe the 1994 one, they truly feel like a family. The casting is really wonderful. I like that Johnny isn't just an airhead. They kind of lent into the silliness of Johnny, especially in those Chris Evans ones. And he's great, by the way. Chris Evans is great as Johnny Storm. But the movies tend to ignore the fact that Johnny is an astronaut. And he is smart. Like, yes, he chases women. And yes, he's, kind of the hot one of the group. And he can be a little hot-headed and stuff. But he is an astronaut. He is a scientist. And they lean into that in this one in a really great way. A lot of people wondered why the female Silver Surfer, why Shia LaBeouf and not Norrin Radd, sorry. Yes, Norrin Radd is the original Silver Surfer, but again, having that attraction, that romantic link for Johnny propels the plot forward. It actually makes sense within the film. And then we have, live action, comic accurate Galactus, which is awesome. Ralph Ineson is the perfect choice. He was the first and probably only casting where I was like, yes, I am so excited for this casting. What a great pick. Like, Ralph Ineson I was on board with straight away. The others I need a little convincing, but within the first 10, 15 minutes of this movie, the first time, they'd won me over. I also want to point out that this movie is not set in the 60s. They never say it's set in the 60s. A lot of people think it's got that 60s retro future aesthetic that it is. It's never said that it's 1960 whatever in the film. This could just be a version of our Earth. It could be 2025 in there for all we know. They just never moved on past that 60s aesthetic. And I wonder if they'll play into that more as they start to meet other heroes across the multiverse. Doctor Doom is referenced throughout the film, although he's never seen. He is alluded to with the Latvian chair at the Future Foundation being empty, and of course the post-credit sequence at the end. I just love the dynamic between all of them. People say the plot's kind of weak. I don't think it's a weak plot. It's a pretty standard plot to me. Like, it's not complicated, but I don't think it's weak. The Fantastic Four, the Earth is invaded by the Silver Surfer. They go out to try and, bargain with Galactus. They fail. And then they decide to, trick Galactus at home. But, yeah, not the most complex plot, but it's not weak. I like it. It's very kind, it's very fun, it embraces the goofiness of the Fantastic Four. Another complaint people have said about this is that Reed Richards doesn't stretch enough. It feels like they were really developing his character as a scientific mind first, being able to solve all the world's problems. And let's be honest, this guy does. He figures out how to teleport the Earth across space. Yeah, Reed Richards in the other films can stretch further, but none of them could do that. You know what I mean? It's a trade-off. We're going to get far more stretchy powers. I think if they handle this correctly, these characters correctly, I think one of the kind of responses to meeting Galactus is them testing their powers more. I think we're going to see a much stronger Fantastic Four in Avengers Doomsday. The music, Michael Giacchino's score, he never misses. His score is wonderful. I love the very sci-fi lightheartedness of the score as well. For me, it's a perfect film. I adore it. I know that's a big, bold swing, and most people wouldn't agree, and that's fine. I grew up on the Fantastic Four. I watched the cartoon as a kid. I've seen all the movies in theaters pretty much, except for the 2015 one. I missed that one in theaters. And this one just feels like it might not be the best, it might not be the most accurate representation of the comics, but it's the best we've got so far. It is the closest to the source material. And it has a lot of fun with it. So I love Fantastic Four First Steps. As I said, I've watched it. This might be one of my top most watched Marvel films of all time. And some of those films have been out for 20 plus years, but this one I keep going back to again and again and again. And has me really excited for Avengers Doomsday. We know all of these characters are coming back. The Fantastic Four are returning in Doomsday. I imagine Herbie's going to be there as well. It'd be interesting to see if Silver Surfer shows up, either in this or in Secret Wars. I imagine Silver Surfer probably will. Galactus also has a role in Secret Wars in the comics, so in the original 80s run. So it'd be interesting to see if Galactus shows up in Secret Wars as well. It would be fascinating to see Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom engage with Galactus. But that's it. That is all our Marvel movies. The road to Avengers Doomsday, as far as movies are concerned, is done. We've got a couple of shows left. Next up is a show that I didn't watch. I skipped it when it came out because I knew I was doing this. Next up is Wonder Man. I'm really looking forward to it.